Namaskaram. Jai Trika Parampara. Jai Isvara Svarupa Swami Lakshmanju Maharaj. Jai Guruji. Jai B.N. Panditji. Jai Mahakal. Begin this, and I think I will begin most of the videos with the Agora mantra, which is a common mantra in the Trika, and it was loved by Master Swami Lakshmanju Maharaj, and he claimed that this mantra can bring upliftment to this whole universe. Om. Korimyo, dangorimyo, kora kora tarim yascha, sarvata sarva sarvemyo, namaste rundrarpemya. Korimyo, dangorimyo, kora kora tarim yascha, Sarvata sarva sarvemyo, namaste rundrarpemya. Goremyo, dhangoremyo, kora kora tarim yascha, sarvata sarva sarvemyo, namaste rundrarpemya. Jai Gurudev. So it would make sense, seeing as this channel will be discussing Trika and animal rights, to make a video in regards to the Trika, and particularly in regards to the origins of the Trika. Trika is a form of Shaivism. Shaivism is a denomination within the greater Sanatan Dharma. Also, Sanatan Dharma is known generally as Hinduism. But Hinduism denotes more of a locale of the peoples who live south of the Sindhu River and peoples who live around the Indus Valley. But Sanatan Dharma is actually the real name, as given in some of the Shastras, and one of those Shastras being the Bhagavad Gita. Within Sanatan Dharma, there are several main denominations. Namely, some of them are Vaishnavism, where it is a form of dualistic worship, meaning that the individual and God are separated, and the individual worships God, who, according to Vaishnavism, is named Vishnu. And not only do they glorify Vishnu, but they exalt the different incarnations of Vishnu, like Ram and like Krishna and Narasimha Devji. There is also Smartiism. Smartiism is, my understanding of Smartiism is that there is not a one Deva which is exalted, or a one name of God which is exalted, but it's kind of up for the individual to choose if they want to worship God in the form of Brahma, or if they want to worship God in the form of Vishnu, if they want to worship the God in the form of Shiva, if they want to worship God in a feminine way as Shakti or Durga. In Shaktiism. In Shaktiism, they believe that the essence of the divine is actually feminine, and they glorify the incarnations of Shakti. Shaivism is obviously a denomination within Sanatan Dharma where Shiva is glorified. But Shiva, in this sense, is not the Shiva carrying the Trishila with the Tripundra, 3 marks on his forehead, holding the trident with the Vasuki around his neck. Shiva is that one being which has become many. That one being which exists within all beings. That is what is Shiva. Shiva is not a one murti or a one form, but his body is this universe, Vishvarupa. And within Shaivism, there is also several main traditions. Some of these are dualist traditions. Again, meaning that there is a difference between the individual being and between the supreme being. And the individual being engages in a kind of worship of the supreme being as being separate from themselves. And then there is dualist non-dualism, or in Sanskrit this is called Veda Veda or Dvaita Dvaita. And in this way, it is both dual and non-dual. So there is both the individual acknowledges his oneness with Supreme Being, Shiva. However, a degree of separation is maintained here between the one Brahm, the one consciousness, and between this individual. Still, they fall into limited individuality and into separation from the one Brahm, the one being. And then there is the Trika. And the Trika is Advaita, meaning it is non-dual. Dual meaning two. Trika is an absolute monism. To quote my Guruji, it is absolute monism. Meaning, in Trika, the nature and the reality is that there is only one being. There is not me, there is not him. This differentiation is dissolved. This dissolution of duality, or this dissolution of individuality with the objective world, where individual being, Jiva, not Shiva, Jiva, individual being becomes one with the universe. And in this state of oneness, this is called Bhairava, or the Bhairava. The Bhairav is a state of awareness where individual being has expanded and has gained awareness of its universality. Trika is a very ancient tradition, if not the most ancient tradition. And the Trika means something. The word Trika means the three, meaning the three Devis, or the three goddesses, or the three Shaktis, energies personified as goddesses, which are expansions of Paramashiva, Supreme Shiva. And these three Devis, these are Apara Shakti, Para Shakti, and Para Shakti. So you have Apara Shakti. Apara Shakti means inferior energy or inferior power of Shiva. And it is this energy which is said to keep the individual bound in limitation And limitation as in not recognizing his oneness with all beings, but simply this energy pushes him down, so his awareness is contracted into individuality. And then there is para Shakti. So para Shakti. So it is both supreme Shakti and inferior Shakti. It is both para, supreme, and apara, inferior. So this denotes the dualist, non-dualist state of the jiva, the individual, where he finds himself falling into individual being. He does not recognize himself existing in the objective field and being expanded everywhere in this universe. But sometimes he has experiences of his oneness, or some knowledge of his oneness with this universe is gained. So he is not completely dual, dvaita, and he is not completely non-dual, advaita. He exists in this intermediate energy, which is what para apara Shakti means. And the supreme energy of Lord Shiva, Paramashiva, supreme being, is named Para Shakti. This is the supreme energy of Paramashiva. And the Para Shakti is this energy which is like Shaktipata. It is grace. Shaktipata means grace in Sanskrit. So Shaktipata is the unfolding of grace within the individual, where he begins to recognize his true nature as a one consciousness. So this individual is no longer an individual, but he recognizes that he is expanded all throughout this universe as his true nature is that he is the Supreme Shiva. He is not this individual being, ahamkara. He recognizes his oneness with supreme reality. And that is the three Shaktis. Apara Shakti, Para Shakti, and Para Shakti. The Trika is a very ancient and a very complicated body of knowledge. I am humbled by my masters. I am not anywhere close to understanding and knowing the very advanced and esoteric teachings within the Trika. So we begin. In the beginning, there was the one Pashupati Shiva, also known as Agoranata or Swachandanata, symbolized by 5 heads, 5 mouths, 18 arms. These 18 arms are symbolic of the first half of the tattvas, the second half of the tattvas, and some say even these 18 arms could be symbolic of the 118 fields of awareness, or lokas, worlds, dimensions, which have been discovered by the yogis for tradition. Not saying that there is only 118 worlds, but 118 worlds the yogis have discovered internally residing within themselves in states of meditation and in states of samadhi and samavesa, absorption into universality. So this 5-headed Shiva is said to have come to Kailash. Kailash is those 5 mountains in the Himalayas, north of India. This is the outer meaning. But the internal meaning of Kailash is Agya chakra, the third eye chakra. So 5-headed Shiva, Pashupati, has come and has transmitted knowledge from his 5 heads. One head is Srishti. Srishti means creation. Srishti is Brahma, creation. One head is Sthiti. Sthiti is maintenance. Sthiti is Vishnu. Brahma, Srishti, Brahma is creation. Sthiti, Vishnu is preservation, maintenance. Next, 3rd head, we say Samhara. Samhara means dissolution or destruction. Samhara Rudra. Rudra is dissolution. Next head, Tarodhana. Tarodhana is concealment. Ishvara, concealment. He has hidden himself in his expansions, in his expanded energy which has become this universe. He has hidden himself here. And then Anugraha, Shakti. Anugraha is revelation, and he reveals himself. And these are the 5 energies, 5 powers, 5 movements of Paramashiva. Is that of Srishti, creation, Sthiti, Vishnu, Samhara, dissolution, Tarodhana, concealment, and Anugraha, revelation. He reveals himself to the jiva, to the individual. These 5 heads correspond with 5 kriyas, or 5 activities, 5 shaktis, other shaktis. And these activities and energies are chitta, the energy of consciousness. He is consciousness. Ekam Braham, the one consciousness, which has become the many. Next, Ananda, bliss. He is the supreme state of bliss, existing deep within the heart of all beings. The bliss of recognition, pratabhigya, of direct recognition of oneself with this universe, with the Supreme Being, Paramashiva. Next, Icha. He is divine will. Everything that happens is the result of his supreme will. Every activity of this universe, be it destructive, be it creative, be it that of preservation, be it that of concealment, be it that of revelation, is authorized by Supreme Being, Paramashiva. And the next, Gyan. Jnana is knowledge, the attainment of knowledge. And knowledge, supreme knowledge. Knowledge that bestows freedom, moksha. The knowledge that enables individual being, jiva, to end their suffering, imposed by individuality and limited individual awareness, ahamkara, and the malas, the impurities. The next, kriya. Kriya Shakti. Now he has this knowledge and now he acts upon this. So Kriya means activity or actions. Chitta, he is consciousness. Ananda, he is bliss. Icha, he is will. Gyan, he is knowledge. Kriya, and he is action. He is phenomenon, both on a macro level and a micro level. So, these 5 heads are associated with the 5 Srishti, creation, sthiti, maintenance, samhara, dissolution, pradana, concealment, anugraha, revelation. And these 5 heads are symbolic of Chitta, consciousness, Ananda, bliss, Icha, divine will, Gyan, divine knowledge, and Kriya, divine action. So everything in this universe is pervaded by these 5 powers, by these 5 heads. So we do acknowledge the murti, or the 5-headed form, coming down onto Kailash. But we, in the esoteric understanding of this, in the internal understanding of this, in the deeper understanding of this, is very internal, as the Paramashiva has given this transmissions in the 3rd eye chakra of his devotees. So when we say Pasupati, Paramashiva in his 5-headed form, has come down onto Kailash, it means that he has come down to the awakened sadhaka, to the seekers, to his devotees on Mount Kailash, meaning really Agya chakra. Every thought that we have is created, srishti, and then it is thought, it is maintained, sthiti, and then it is dissolved, samhara. Our true nature, which is spanda tattva, or Paramashiva. We are one with him. This is hidden, Perdana. And after many lifetimes and many trials and tribulations, he rediscovers himself again. He has come down into individuality and he rediscovers himself again. And this is anugraha. So there is creation, maintenance, and dissolution. And beyond this trifold cycle, there is concealment and revelation. Every breath is created, maintained, and then dissolved. Srishti, sthiti, samhara, and it is dissolved. Every movement begins srishti. It is acted upon, sthiti, and then it is dissolved. And then this cycle repeats itself within everything, every breath, every impression, every thought, every movement. So that is what this means. There are 92 agamas. Agamas are scriptures, ancient Sanskrit revelations, handed from Supreme Being unto the jivas, the individuals, and his bhaktas, his devotees. And these agamas are ancient, and it is said that Pashupati, five-headed Shiva, transmitted 92 agamas, 92 scriptures, 92 transmissions of divine knowledge, which are now recorded as scripture in the Sanskrit language and passed down by gurus and acharyas and great yogis for thousands of years, trying to understand and experience the essence and the teachings of these agamas. And the first 10 agamas came from one of the mouths of Pashupati. And the first 10 agamas are dualist agamas, the Shaiva agamas, which again go back to Dvaita, dualism. There is separation between individual and between divine God. And then 3 of the heads transmitted the Rudra agamas. In the Rudra agamas, these are both dualistic and non-dualistic. Beda, Dvaita, Advaita. Individual has knowledge of his oneness, but he is still limited by individual awareness. And then there is 64 Bhairavagamas. And these 64 Bhairavagamas teach Advaita, non-duality. There is no difference between Jiva and Shiva. And again, that is the meaning of the Bhairava. So these agamas were transmitted in the Sat Yuga, which is the first age, which was very, very long time ago, like millions of years ago. And these agamas were passed down through initiation until finally the age that we live in, where intelligence has declined. It is said that the sages began to have to write these down because we didn't have such great memories during this age that we live in now. So these agamas are said to be also transmissions of Pasupadi Swachandanata. And those sadhakas of our tradition, thousands of years ago, were initiated into this knowledge. And initiated their disciples, and they initiated their disciples, and for thousands of years, this is how our sampradaya, or the Trika, has been passed, until now, where we have masters now, who initiate their disciples in this knowledge, usually from a living bearer of this tradition, but not always. There has been great siddhas, non-humanoid beings who have appeared to yogis and who have transmitted this knowledge. And there's rare instances of initiation gained through grace alone, direct initiation from Paramashiva unto his bhakta, his devotee. But the Trika is very small. It is not big like these other sampradayas. I think there's only 10,000 of us worldwide, as compared to Shaiva Siddhanta or more dualistic Shaivite schools where there's like millions. There is one parampara, there is one lineage, and that is the devotees of Supreme Being, of Absolute Being. I will continue and speak on the transmission of the lineage and the lineage that I am connected with, because there are several lineages within the Trika, but the main lineage comes from Acharya Abhinavagupta. And there's a lot more to explain, but this is part one. We'll call this the part one of the origins of the Trika. Om Hyam Saham Riteswara Bhairavaya Namaha. Jai Mahakal, Jai Ishvara Swarupa Swami Lakshmanju Maharaj, Jai Trika Parampara, Har Har Mahadev.
Bhairavaya